Hey guys, I'm Jax and this is my spoiler-free review for the new Blumhouse horror film, Night Swim. A family of four move into a new house, and to their utter delight, there is a swimming pool. But maybe something evil lurks beneath the surface of this pool. What kind of evils lie inside this swimming pool? What Jaws did to the ocean, Night Swim will do to swimming pools, is, I'm sure, how the writers and creators of this film pitched it to Blumhouse to somehow trick whatever insane, coked out madman greenlit this project. Because on paper, sure, oh my god, evil pool sounds fantastic. But instead what we get is one of the most disappointing, self-serious, boring, derivative, nothing PG-13 horror films that I've ever seen. Just imagine every single haunted house film you've ever seen, where there's a haunting, a possession, some kind of spirit, vaguely supernatural situation going on, and there's like some kind of spirit demon little ghoul man in the pool, and he wants to get the family or whatever, and the family are like, we love this pool! But maybe the pool is evil. That's the film. Also, the film is also like sad drama about a dad who like used to play like professional baseball, but now he's hurt his body, he's got MS and he's sad about it. So it's like sad family baseball dad drama / the pool is evil. It's haunted with some kind of spirit possessed ghoul demon little creature man inside the pool. Maybe it's ghosts, maybe it's a demon, maybe it's neither, or maybe it's both. It's vaguely supernatural. I have seen the film. I've seen the movie, but it's vague. It's vague. It's a vague haunting house situation, but it's a haunting pool. It's a swimming pool. What are we gonna do? The pool is haunted. I don't know. Don't go in the pool, maybe? So when I heard there was an evil pool movie, I was like, oh, sign me up. I love silly, crazy, dumb, insane, vaguely supernatural horror films. I can't wait to see what kind of crazy, insane, bizarrely swimming pool orientated horror set pieces we get. And whilst in the first act, I will admit, I was shocked at how well the pool was framed and staged, the cinematography and how the film looks, and the cutting and the editing. For the first like 15-20 minutes, I was like, okay, I'm like mildly interested. I'm pretty excited to see where this goes. And then it somehow just peters off into this generic, boring, uninspired, derivative, nothing movie. It is so dull. It is so humorless. It is shockingly self-serious for a film that should be called Evil Pool. Yes, it's called Night Swim. We'll get to that terrible title later on. But this film is just like such a wannabe Insidious, wannabe every single haunted house movie you've ever seen, but just with nothing to say and nothing to do. There is a huge portion of the film that is dedicated to our lead dad. There's 4 people in the family. Our lead dad character, played by Wyatt Russell. I don't know how they got him. I don't know what kind of money issues he's dealing with that got him to sign up for a movie about an evil pool that has nothing fun to do with the premise that is evil pool. But they got him. They got Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell, who is a superstar. Awesome. He's fine in this movie. He carries the dad plot. But there's a shocking amount of time spent with, I'm a sad dad and I used to be a professional baseball player. I hit the ball real good. And there's a huge part of this film that is like sports film, but like sad, depressed, used to be a sports guy, sports film. And all of that is like kind of interesting. But apart from that, the film doesn't really have anything going on. Everything is paper thin, uninspired, boring, generic, just blah. So what you're really here for is the crazy horror shenanigans that we're gonna get with this evil, haunted, possessed, potentially it's a spirit, potentially it's a ghoul, potentially it's some kind of little demon man in the pool with magical supernatural powers. I cannot stress enough how vague and nonsense this plot is, but not in the fun vague way where it's just crazy insanity. It's just like, Oh, that water. Oh, water's been around forever. Oh, man. We came from the water as little tadpole human men or something, they say in the film. But then we got out of the water, and sometimes we want to go back and control the water. Actual dialogue from the film. And knowing after the fact that this was based off a short film, yeah, you can really feel that, because it does feel like this would be a great 10-minute short film. And then they were like, how do we pad it out? Okay, the dad, he played baseball, but now he can't play baseball because he's got a sore back or MS or something. And oh, what if he gets in the pool and it heals him? Like the Lazarus pit. It's like a Lazarus pool, but maybe the good turns into bad and the pool is evil, and maybe there's things in the pool, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just kind of black smoke or something, and maybe you see possessed creatures and things outside, and maybe you're seeing things and there's ghosts and ghouls. Or maybe there's not. I don't know. This film just throws everything at the wall and somehow does nothing. It's crazy. I hated this movie so very much. I just want a film about an evil pool to have a bit of cheese. A bit of a tongue-in-cheek kind of like attitude to the film that is evil pool. Like, for what Jaws did to the ocean, then Piranhas did for the ocean. But funny, and it was over the top and gory and silly and ridiculous, and it embraced that it's doing Jaws, but very dumb and silly. And that film's an absolute blast. Yes, I don't know, the film sucks. I'm left quite flat, even though I know it's my fault. I shouldn't have expected anything from a movie about an evil pool, despite the fact that the idea that there's a film about an evil swimming pool in your home, utterly delightful. But no, not delightful. Dour and boring and derivative and terrible, and I hated every second of it. Except for the first 15 minutes, I was like, I'm in? How am I in with this movie? And then I was like, oh no. Maybe I was just excited because I was in a cinema and I like movies. So I was like, I like movie. And then I realized, oh, bad movie, real bad movie. And I think maybe the worst thing about this movie is the fact that, like, on a technicality, and it is just a technicality, Night Swim is, at this moment, the best film of 2024. And that's a very depressing, sad thought. And often people are like, the death of cinema! And I disagree. Movies are awesome. But sometimes when you think about the fact that even just for a second, even just for today, Night Swim is the best film of this year, that's a horrifying thought. In fact, ironically, that's the scariest part of Night Swim. That this is the best film of the year. Now, if you're just looking for some dumb horror film to take your girlfriend or boyfriend or dog or grandma to the cinemas to see, to waste 2 hours on a quiet January afternoon or whatever, this film is not for you. It doesn't have any of the things you'd want from a horror film. Gore? No. Jump scares? Yes, but they're terrible. I can't think of anything else you might want. I don't know. Name a third thing you'd want from a horror film. Whatever it is, just like pick anything. I guarantee you it is not in this film. Unless you want to see Wyatt Russell be a sad dad who wishes he could play baseball. Then actually this film will be for you. And he gets in the pool. He's like, oh, the pool's helping me be good at baseball or whatever. So if that's what you want from a film to take your girlfriend, boyfriend, dog and or grandma, maybe all 3 or 4 of them or whatever. If you want that, this film has got you covered. But if you want any... I thought of a third thing. Is it scary? Oh, hell no. Unless you're afraid of terrible movies. I think the thing I hated the most is the title. Night Swim. Night Swim? I presume that's the title of the short film. Somebody's like, well, I gotta call it that, so the people who love my short film will go see this big film. Normal film. It's not a big film, don't worry. It's a brisk 90 minutes that feels like it goes for about 2 hours. But he called the film Night Swim. Not a very good title, so let me pitch you some better titles. Evil Pool, Attack of the Killer Pool, Evil Pool, Dead by Dawn, The Haunting of Pool House, Marco Polo. And yes, to answer your question, there is a Marco Polo scene. Of course there's a Marco Polo scene. The first one is like a scary scene. Obviously I use the air quotes because it's not scary, it's terrible and awful. But there is a Marco Polo scene in the middle of the movie, and at the end of the movie there is another Marco Polo scene, but it is laughable in the most embarrassing, horrible way. That was the moment where I was like, oh, there was redeemable parts to this film, but now... How dare you do this to Wyatt Russell? I love that man, and you have besmirched his name and embarrassed him. You've embarrassed him, and you've embarrassed me. And if you've seen any reviews on this channel, you know I am hard to embarrass because of the reviews that I produce on this channel. Knock at the end of the pool. Leave the pool behind. Pool party! But the title is in that kind of 80s font where it goes, Pyaw! Pool party! But it's splattered in blood. You can imagine. Pool party! The Phantom Pool. Attack of the Pools. That would, I suppose, obviously be some kind of sequel. Revenge of the Pool. A new pool. That would be like a good pool fighting back against the evil pool. Potentially they were pool brothers back in the day and they were friends and now they're enemy brothers. You know, like in all those films. But pools! The Pool Strikes Back. Return of the Pool. The Pool Awakens. Obviously in this one I would imagine that Wyatt Russell would return the last pool. And I guess I would imagine that sounds like that would be the last one. But in good horror, there's too many of us, there's too many in the franchise at this point, style, the last pool wouldn't be the last film in the Evil Pool franchise. Of course we would obviously end on The Rise of the Pool Walker. And once we've wrung the very wet towel that you used to dry off from the evil pool, we've wrung that water out of that towel and we're done with the franchise. Obviously, like any good horror franchise, we go back to the beginnings, some kind of evil pool origin story, and we would call it, of course, Pool. Unless the original film wasn't called Evil Pool, but was called Marco Polo, because as I said, lots of Marco Polo scenes ranging from pretty bad to atrocious. We would just call the origin story of the evil pool Polo.